Juventini is worth more than the 3 available points. Words and music in our ears by Igor Tudor in a fantastic interview on the DAZN yesterday that will soon be, I hope so, available for all the Juventini. We will debrief his words and then going back slightly, briefly, on the important words by Comolli that is really starting to impress me more and more and more for not only what he's saying, but also how he's acting, what he's doing. Going there, guys, I don't know if it's because the international break was there in between and it looks like an eternity since we played our last game. I don't know if it's because of that immense rivalry against the Nerazzurri. I don't know if it's because it's the real first big game on paper after Parma and Genoa. I don't know if it's because I'm scared of match day 3. Last year, 2 beautiful wins before the first draw. It's match day 3 again against a bigger team on paper. I don't know, but I can't wait to play that game. 90 minutes, 95, 100 minutes, game with controversy, no controversy, I don't know, but I can't wait. I really want to be there tomorrow. And of course, we will be here before, during, and after the game for the watch-along of the Derby d'Italia, Juve-Inter. Ciao! Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. In this video, we'll not speak that much about tactics, which we will do later in a second video or tomorrow morning or maybe even both, but we'll go towards the words that are important. Words mean nothing, of course, when we are speaking on the field, but words are important if we want to understand strategy, if we want to enter the mind of the principal actors like Igor Tudor that is managing the team, like Comolli that is building the team, super important. And of course we need to focus on the field because words are great, are fantastic, but then the acts will show if we are on the right path, yes or no. So today we'll speak about words. If you want to go towards tactics, we'll open Gazzetta dello Sport. That is actually surprising me this morning because there are 2 protagonists that I was absolutely not expecting to be on the first page today, especially if we are speaking about the Derby d'Italia. Akanji for Christian Kivo, probably the only new face that we will see in the starting 11, and Teun Koopmeiners that I already know now, and don't lie to me, will be the controversial topic in the starting 11 chosen by Igor Tudor. Igor Tudor that will not go towards a 3-4-1-2 like a lot of Juventini were hoping after knowing that Conceição is at huge big doubt and that yesterday in press conference Jagrova, white flag, he will not be there. Well, Yildiz behind Openda, Jonathan David or Dusan Vlahovic, at least 2 out of these 3 names. That's not what Igor wants to do. He wants, looks like, to go towards a 3-4-2-1 that becomes immediately a 3-5-2 with Koopmeiners essential to reinforce that midfield to not lose that war there in the middle of the field, which has been immense and always a key factor in the last Derby d'Italia. So he could be the newness with Joao Mario at the moment, advantage there on the left. Kalulu keeping his spot there on the right. Let's see tactically later today, but I really want to go towards the words. With Tuttosport that is reporting parts of the words of Comolli yesterday. Juve sei più forte. Juve, you are stronger. What about Dusan Vlahovic? He has unique qualities for this team that he was already able to show. He repeated a few times that we are stronger now after this mercato. He started Stile Juve. We thank the ex-players of Juve for what they did at Juventus Football Club. Long time, short time, whatever, but we want to thank them. Stile Juve. He says in Italian the word calciomercato, which is super important to show that he's starting to integrate it, to adapt to the Italian culture. We don't speak about transfer window. We speak about calciomercato. Bravo Comolli, that is really, someone that when I watched the interviews really impressed me, and my question was, how will he adapt? How will he act in a club like the Bianconeri? Well, I heard him speaking a few times now in that J Hotel or in USA after being eliminated versus Real Madrid. I heard him speaking in his presentation at Juve. Of course, the big question is, will Juve be too big from him, knowing that he comes from Toulouse in Ligue 1, starting in Ligue 2. We know it's not the same as being at the helm of a club like Juve, a historical club as Juve, but he shows me everything that I need, really, respecting the culture of the club, respecting the history of the club, respecting the ownership, respecting the players, understanding, showing us how he describes also, not only as person, but also the technical and the tactical qualities of the players that he just signed. Bravo Comolli. He really impressed me yesterday also in his way of communicating. What a beautiful communication when he says immediately clearly, we wanted to build a competitive squad. Also showing us that he has objectives for that team squad. Not team. The words are important because the team was already competitive, but we wanted to build a stronger squad. And this refers to Tudor, when last year was looking at the bench, there was nobody, and he was obliged to go and reach a qualification in Champions League, trusting probably 11, 12, maximum 13 players. 13 when Colomwani, when Chico Conceição were able to convince him, not before, because they needed to convince him, and we didn't have a lot of time. Now, what Damien Comolli did was reinforcing that bench, giving more options to the coach, something that he's also saying in that interview, qualities that will perfectly adapt to the way of playing, to the vision of playing from our coach, because we have chosen to continue with Igor Tudor. He's explaining that the mercato was his mercato, done for and with Tudor. He thanks the ownership, super important, telling us, I know what you are thinking, I know what you are saying about John Elkann, the negativity, etc., etc., etc. He says, thank you for all the support, for pushing us to go beyond it. Without his support, without him challenging us, probably this mercato would not have seen or look alike like it is now today. He sends a message to the media, my personal war, one of the reasons why I opened the channel, telling everyone, guys, what you have read, what you have seen, the rumors. I never spoke to Al-Khelaifi. That doesn't mean that he never spoke to Paris Saint-Germain. He spoke with the other one, Campos, that is sporting director, but I didn't speak with Al-Khelaifi. What you have read are lies. Pay attention. Probably it's a manipulation of a situation that doesn't exist, because to us it's extremely important, that relationship between the clubs. Super important to put it in face of all the journalists that are there, making them accountable. A squad that can compete, that can go far. He's not making any promises. He's not telling us we will win the Scudetto, we will win the Champions League, we will win the Coppa Italia. No, but the objectives are clear. We have built a stronger squad because the team was already competitive, and now we have everything that it takes to go far in every competition. There is a mix of quantity and quality. If you go back to the description of this channel, that's what I always promised you. Quantity and quality, information, entertainment, and looks like Damien Comolli is acting the same, so I can only say bravo Damien Comolli. You did your job in that first part of your arrival in the first months. Then of course now we will need to continue, because the job of Comolli is not over, but now we need to give it to the players, to the coach. What about the players? Well, Jagrova will not be there tomorrow. This is what he announced yesterday. Much more than that, no, that was the most important thing of his press conference. And what about Openda? That he loves to play as a number 9, that this is his role. What about the faces of the guys? I saw that they were overwhelmed by the Juve world, and this is actually a good sign. You don't arrive at Juve, one of the big clubs of Italy. You arrive at Juve, which is the biggest club of Italy. Here things are different than at Leipzig, than at Lille, that in Belgium, that in France, whatever. It's much more bigger. It's huge, it's big, it's working hard. And how do I know that? Because at the helm we have Igor Tudor. Igor Tudor, that has been underrated by a lot of Juventini. Is he the best coach today on earth? No, he's not the best coach on earth. He needs to prove that he can become one of the important coaches. And how do we know that? With results, of course. But if we are looking at only result, and it's early to say, because we are speaking about 9 games of Serie A last year at the bench of Juve, plus 2 this season, means 11 games. At the moment, he's not doing that bad. He lost one game only against the team of Kivu, that was against Parma last year. For the rest, he's in an average of 2.18 points. Early, it means nothing after 11 games, but 2.18, the same as Maurizio Sarri, that won the Scudetto with Juve, the last Scudetto, right behind Allegri, Capello, and Antonio Conte. Not bad as a start. Of course, tomorrow the goal is with 12 games to increase it, to maybe even go over Allegri, and then we see game by game by game. What did he say yesterday, Tudor? It was beautiful. Guys, it was really beautiful. I can't wait that it will be available for everyone, so that not only you will be able to see to hear the words, but also to see his face when he's speaking about Juve. Ragazzi, what an interview. He started with, what is Juve? Answering who? Answering Ciro Ferrara. Ferrara that knows what it is to play at Juve. He has been there. Played with the armband at a certain moment, the number 2, fantastic defender after Napoli, fantastic journey at Juve. He knows what it is to be a Juventino, and he was the one that actually interviewed him for DAZN in La Continassa, entering that training center, so at home. It was really beautiful. Fantastic job by Ciro Ferrara, not only when he was a player, not that much as a coach, let's be honest, but he understood it really fast, so that's why he stopped, but especially now as an interviewer, so a beautiful job. What is Juventus for him? He said, look, it represents a part of my life. Juve is a part of my life. Juve built me as a person, but also as a professional. Look, Juve is an important part of my life, and you see the way, the intonation, when he waits, when he speaks, the eyes, the non-verbal, you see that he really loves the Bianconeri. When you arrived at Juve, he said, look, in these years, back then when I was a player, it was incredible. Juve won the Champions League and important cups. It was something that was nearly surreal, incredible, especially seeing the details, not that much on the field when the games were played, but the backstage, the behind the scenes, seeing Zinedine Zidane training with the team, but also individually for hours, every single day, how things were prepared. It was a different era, things that remained to me, stick to me, that I always have. I saw Marcello Lippi that was teaching us a lot of things, also the basic things of football, like, oh guys, you are the one that are bringing the balls to the field, you are the one that are bringing the goals to the field, working, everyone equal, working, not only with the ball on the field, but also everything that needs to be prepared to train, to have a training session. Look, different era, absolutely different, something that I try to explain to our players today. What about the team? Well, and the group and the team, I don't want to speak too much about it. I would prefer to speak about you guys, about Ferrara, about Giuliano, Montero, Pessotto, Pirindelli, people that explained me, taught me something. You guys, your words, the ones of Alessandro Del Piero, the fact that we were fighting, that we were pissed off if we were losing a training session. These are the things that I really try to explain to the kids that we have today. I always explain them these examples, tell them these examples, like I'm doing with my sons, with my kids. It's actually being consistent in what we do and what we explain, not only for the professional life, but also for the way of living, because it's beautiful lessons that we have from the past. Ragazzi, I had the opportunity to live the Juve that Igor Tudor is explaining, and it's true, and this is today what a lot of Juventini are missing, and that's why I can accept that Tudor is not the biggest important coach at the world at today, but I'm sure on one thing, in terms of value, he will be able to transmit them. He said at the end, the game is the most easy thing that there is. The training is the most important, is everything. And I hope that our guys will be able to understand that. What about Bremer? He's important. From all point of view, it's a player that is a leader on and on of the field, a player that we need. We missed him a lot also last year. He's a fantastic, kind person that transforms himself when he is on the field. Look, I had the opportunity, you know it, that interview is available, to speak with Lichtsteiner, and one of the questions that I asked him was, is it true that when you were watching you in replay, the game that you were playing, you didn't recognize yourself as a player, as a person there on the field? And he said, Mbappe, yes, I'm a total different person. Well, Bremer is one kind of Lichtsteiner, not in the way of playing, but a player that transforms himself when he's on the field, and this is what Tudor wanted to explain us yesterday. Then at a certain moment in that video, you will see that he's taking a book of Luciano Spalletti. You know that he's not my favorite coach, but it says a lot. And he says, yes, that book is because we need to learn from the best ones, telling us that he's humble enough to understand that he must increase, must do better. And if you see that you like him or that you don't like him, like me, a book of Spalletti did really beautiful things in terms of proposition of play. The first day as a coach of Juve, he said, look, beautiful feelings, really beautiful feelings. I didn't play that long football because I had my injury. So at the end, I had like 5-6 years of serious career, and I felt in debt. I felt in debt for Juve. I felt that I needed to give back to Juve. It has always been my dream to come and to coach Juve. I really felt that I had something to give back, that I was in debt with Juve. Guys, you know one thing. What we don't know is we don't know if he will do well, if he will not do well, if he will be remembered, if he will enter the pantheon of the greatest coach of Juve. We don't know that yet. We can have an idea, we can have a supposition, but we are not sure about that. What we know is that he will give everything because he knows that it's the moment of his life. Pay attention when he's saying Juve Inter, it's worth more than the 3 points. Finally. Oh, because Juve Inter is Juve Inter. It's different than any other game of Serie A. Let's be honest, and he knows. It will be his first one as a coach, but he loves to prepare this game. He loves to prepare when it's not easy. Inter is a big team. He says that played 2 finals of Champions League. They come here with important, experienced player, but we have our cards to play, and we will see who will be the best tomorrow. What about the Scudetto race? Of course, we can compete. Of course, it's a word that I was saying in the locker room in the beginning of the season, where a few times I spoke about the objectives. Now we don't speak about it anymore, because objectives, we cannot speak too much about it. We need to reach them. This is Igor Tudor. He goes straight, clear, transparent with everyone. Not a lot of words, but clear words. I love them. What about Dusan Vlahovic? He said it was really difficult for him. He's still growing as a person. Look, that situation that he has held, that he has managed perfectly well, because it was a difficult one, in showing and answering on the field, will make him grow. He's one of our players. He's a strong player with unique skills, and he will give everything for Juve as long as he is there. Sometimes I'm treating him with beautiful words, sometimes I'm motivating him, sometimes I'm harsh with him, but this is how we are managing Dusan Vlahovic. What about Yildiz? He said, Yildiz, guys, last time I was coaching the team, I was looking at the team, and I told to myself, I'm never actually speaking to him or telling him things that he needs to do or not do, because actually he's always doing the right thing on the field, in the way that he's moving, playing, doing, but also in terms of behaviors. It's really rare that we need to tell him something from both points of view. What is the real difference? A player that has that inside motivation, that drive, that auto drive to achieve things, and is able to be consistent in it, to show it day after day after day. If he continues like that, he can really become a top player. Is there a player that I would love to have in this Juventus, is my Juventus, that Zidane? Perché Zizou è calcio, because Zizou is football. Look, what a beautiful interview for Igor Tudor, that is actually pumping me up even more for Juve Inter. I don't know the result. I cannot do a prediction. It's too difficult to predict Juve Inter. But I know one thing, that with Comolli, with Igor Tudor, without forgetting Giorgio Chiellini, we still need to discover Modesto, but at least with these 3 men, Comolli, Tudor, Chiellini, the team is in good hands. The team is in good hands. We are going closer and closer to the 90s Juve that I was used to. We are far from quality, but in terms of what we want, in terms of behavior, the look that we want to have off the field, on the field, when we speak about the media, when we speak about our objectives, etc., we are going closer, one step at a time. Different era, different finances, different importance of Italian football, but we are going with 1 step ahead. And I prefer going with a little step ahead than with 2 steps behind. If you enjoyed the video, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve.